In this video, we're going to talk about a survey that RV Travel did amongst its users about the quality of RVs in today's world. We're also going to talk about the skyrocketing we're also going to talk about the rising price of campsites and campgrounds and how they're going up. Some people, I say they're skyrocketing. You can be the judge when we get into it. And the third thing we're going to talk about, Leigh Tiffin resigning from Tiffin Motorhomes, a division of Thor Industries. All right, I'm Chuck with Lake2Lake, and I hope you enjoy this video. I got some good news and some bad news. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to talk about this survey. Good news on the survey. This survey pulled 1,200 of its users from RV Travel magazine, and they asked about the quality build of their RVs. And it's pretty amazing to me. I want to make sure I get this right, that 35% of the people polled, of the 1,200 people polled, said their unit was very well built. Now, we see a lot of people in social media talking about how crappy they are, but you know, with 35% of the people, that's over a third of the people say they're well built. And 41% of the people say it's well built, but not very well built. So right there, 76% say it's built well or better than built well. So I don't see where all this complaining is in the industry. And 21% say it's built okay. 3% say it's poorly built, and 1% say it's junk. So where out on social media, where does everybody get the idea that everybody says RVs are junk? I'll tell you why. Because the 70, 80, the 90% of the people that have RVs that they like, they don't brag about it. They don't tell people, I got the best built RV ever. They just go camping and they have fun. And the 4% of the people, they hit social media, and they hit social media big, and they give the RV industry a bad rap. The basic thing is most people are happy with their rigs, and they go camping with their families, and they're happy to go. One of the comments is they don't build them like they used to. And you know, I absolutely agree with that. The reason they don't build them like they used to, because I had a 1960s camper out in my driveway for 5 years that my grandkids stayed in. Basically, it was an addition to the house. They stayed in it overnight. But here's the thing about it. It did not have a slide. It did not have dual pane windows. It did not have tile floors. It did not have automatic steps. It did not have a dishwasher. It did not have a washer and dryer. It did not have a refrigerator. It didn't have an air conditioner. It didn't have all the conveniences that we put in them now. Anti-lock brakes, independent suspension, solar panels, ability to go boondocking. None of those were part of the build from yesteryears. And now, with you put all these new things in, number one, you got a lot more things to break. So if you got 100 items in your RV and one breaks, whether you have 10 items in your RV and one breaks, that's 10% versus 1%. And I'll tell you what, I truly believe that they are built better today than they were of years gone by. And this poll goes out and proves it. And they're pretty rock solid. Sure, they make mistakes. They're human. And sometimes we have design problems and we have engineering problems. But you know what? They fix them. They stand behind them. And social media and the perception from social media is that they're all junk. But over 90% of the people say they're not junk. All right, let's move on. Rising price of campground fees. I'll tell you what, this was not a big shock to me at all. Campground prices keep rising, skyrocketing in some people's opinion. Why are the prices rising? I'm going to tell you why. Because in 2025, more people went camping than any other year in the RV industry. It was the biggest camping year ever. So what happens when more people do it? RV demand surges. When the demand surges, what happens? Prices go up. Parks fill up faster. And your operating costs, utilities, insurance, wages are all going up for the campground owners. So they got to charge more. It's basic economics 101. New amenities. I'll tell you what. Last year, I went camping at a KOA. I could get pizza delivered to my door from the KOA kitchen. I could get firewood. I could get soda. I could get ice cream, all delivered. And they picked up my trash at my campsite. So that costs money. You got to pay an employee. You got to get a guy a truck, or in this case, it was a kid. I say little kid. It was a kid, a high school kid with a golf cart going around making deliveries and picking stuff up. And that's extra. Somebody's got to pay for that. And we, the consumers, pay for that for the additional amenities. We're also seeing dynamic pricing. Now, I've not been a victim of that, or I've not experienced that yet, but I know what's going on. As the resorts start to sell out, as they get down to just a few campsites available, they raise the price, $5, $10, $20, because they can. And that's the way the new economy is. And unfortunately, we pay the price. State parks prices are up 20%. 20%. They got increased costs too. And here in the state of Kansas, they're redoing a lot of the state parks. They're not upgrading utilities, electrical, but they're putting in new boxes, new wires. They're putting in new water. Well, you get some 30, 40 years old, you got to upgrade them sometime because they're worn out. National parks are up 14%. Just cost of doing business. Resort style parks are up 26%. And I'll tell you what, I've seen resorts that I would go to or that I would have gone to that are 140, 150 bucks a night. We're encroaching in on the price of a pretty nice hotel room at 150 bucks a night. So they got to really do something for me to pay that kind of money to spend there. But the bottom line is, it's going to cost you more to camp this year than it did last year. Leigh Tiffin, the president of Tiffin Motorhomes, resigned immediately, effective immediately. His grandpa started the company, and he's in his 80s, and he still works there. His dad still works at Tiffin Motorhomes, a division of Thor Industries. He still works there. He just abruptly resigned as the president. Now, he said he wanted to pursue new leadership opportunities. Okay, the president of Tiffin Motorhomes, that is the pinnacle. That is the gold standard. Or is it? Or was it? That's the real question. Was Thor, the corporate umbrella, the corporate people of Thor Industries, putting pressure on Leigh Tiffin? Was he not rising to the expectations of the corporate giant Thor? Don't know. But we know he left quickly, and of course, he has no compete clauses, so he had to go somewhere not in the manufacturing side. So he went to the retail side. He went to work for National Indoor RV Centers. Now, I'm telling you what, that's a very high-class organization, and they deal with the wealthiest of the wealthy because they're the ones that you buy a diesel motorhome from them. They service it, they clean it, they wash it, you store it with them. You just drop it off. They take care of it when you call them up and say, hey, I want to pick it up on Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning. They got it ready for you, fueled up, everything ready to go. It's not cheap. It costs money to do things like that. But that's who he's going to work for. Now, there had to be something going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. One thing we do know is motorhome sales are soft, and I'm sure that was impacting Tiffin. Their backlog of orders is not nearly what it was, and they're not producing as many motorhomes as they are or as they could. And one of the reasons we know that is they're having a layoff. They're going to close down one of their facilities completely. And then the other thing that adds a little bit of question to his was he in good terms with Thor Industries is the fact that they didn't promote somebody from within his organization to run it. They brought in somebody from Jayco to run it. They brought in some new blood. Now, why do you think they did that? I don't know. I can speculate. I can guess. I can guess he wasn't doing a very good job, or he was doing an okay job and they want somebody to do a good job. I worked in a family business for 20 years. I'm telling you what, that's a very tough business to be in. When you got family looking down at you and you got buyers wanting to buy your company and the kids are wanting, well, we're still going to have jobs. I'm telling you what, it's very stressful. When your dad's the boss or your grandpa's the boss, you got a little bit of leeway. Thor Industries bought it, and now guess what? Some of those assurances went away, I'm sure. Now he did run it for 5 years, and they acted like they were happy with him. Of course, they'd say that. They weren't going to say if he was either leave or be fired. I'm sure that wasn't an ultimatum because he was keeping the train rolling. So anyway, I think that's just one part of the industry that we're going to see change. And I think this is going to have ramifications all over the industry. I think this is just maybe the first of many dominoes to fall in the RV industry, because we're finding out that sales are soft everywhere, and that the consumer is really picky about what they're buying, and they want quality at a reasonable price. And maybe Tiffin priced themselves out of that, or maybe their quality wasn't equal to their price point. I don't know. It just happens. The industry changes. And I think this might be the first domino, or actually not the first domino. I think we've seen a couple dominoes fall. Heartland going out of business. And now the president and then Leigh Tiffin leaving. So anyway, I think that'll wrap it up. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, ring that bell. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you would subscribe. Anyway, put down in the comment section if you liked it, didn't like it, what you want to see. So until we meet around the campfire, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.